I don't want to spend too much time on the color of the debate because that's getting hashed around a lot this morning. But that soundbite we just heard from the president, when the stock market goes up, that means jobs. How valid do you think that still is?
I don't think it's particularly valid. It's one of those kinds of correlations that don't have a lot to do with each other. A lot of times, if the business cycle is positive, it means corporate profitability and added jobs. But the linkages between how well American corporations are doing and how well the American middle class is doing has been significantly broken in recent decades. And it is one of the reasons why Biden's agenda, his Building Back Better agenda, should be seen as a kind of a reconnection agenda to help reconnect the growing economy to the economic prosperity of the middle class, something that's been missing and something that I think that stock market guide star for Trump is very misguided from the perspective of people who've been falling behind for too long.
Right. But if it's not equity prices, Jared, and I was surprised, actually, the president didn't mention this last night, the housing market, we just got pending homes, another record, low supply, double-digit price increases. Why is that not a bigger selling point for the president? Maybe it will be in the next debate.
It's a great question. And this gets into the K-shaped recovery that you actually heard Chris Wallace, well, you might have heard Chris Wallace ask about if Trump wasn't just yelling at the moment. And the idea there, and I think the housing story is part of this, is that you have a fairly narrow sliver of folks at the top, many of whom disproportionately hold equities, who are doing quite well in this economy, whereas in the bottom half, it's not like that. So we have this phenomenon of rising stock prices at the same time that we have rising hunger and rising evictions. And again, it's exemplary of this inequality problem that the Biden plan aims to fix through clean jobs and clean energy, through free tuition to public colleges and universities for families with middle and low incomes, for more affordable child and health care, for better jobs in manufacturing, and through trying to de-rig the tax code and some of the racial bias in the economy.
So the debate last night, Jared, now we have the Treasury Secretary talking to Becky at Delivering Alpha, getting a little more granular about when essentially we think we may know if there is a compromise with the Speaker. Here's what he said a few moments ago.
I think we're very effective in communicating with each other. In many cases, we do have things that we agree on, and we have things that there are differences. And we're trying to see if both of us can manage a package that gets some of what everybody wants.
Now, Jared, they're talking about a so-called escalator clause that would allow more money if, in fact, the virus persists and would eventually get you closer to Pelosi's target if, in fact, this lasted for longer than we think. Are the negotiations getting interesting to you?
Yes, they're getting a little more interesting. And I guess I would say that the probability of getting a relief package this week has gone from very low to a bit less low. I wouldn't lean too far over our skis here. Last I heard, they're still something like $700 billion apart. And I'm just concerned that there are some members up there who are much more focused. I think Mitch McConnell is probably in this place, just much more focused on the Supreme Court than getting help to families who are struggling. Again, remember that K-shaped notion. This idea that even while the stock market is doing well, we still have tens of millions of people unemployed, rising hunger, rising evictions, really difficulty with earnings for people in the bottom half. So this is as essential as ever, as urgent as ever, but some of that urgency has clearly been lost up on the Hill.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.